Okay, we're live. And good evening and welcome to another edition of Talkin' Wrestling with myself and Smokin' Jim Frazier by phone. Smokin' Jim, it's great to have you once again on with us here on Talkin' Wrestling.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. I appreciate that. I tell you what, I'm in Willie, West Virginia.
Are you really?
It's town of my nephew's ninth grade football game. He took the opening kickoff back for a touchdown.
Wow, congratulations.
33-6.
Great.
But I'm excited about doing this show right now.
I appreciate that. Okay, let's get started here tonight. We have a lot to talk about as always. WWE, I got some breaking news. NXT is going back to the black and gold. They're going to get rid of that funky 2.0 and that coloring that they got up there, that Vince McMahon created. They're going back to the black and gold. Okay. Also, the Saudi event. Listen to this one, Smokin'. Jimmy will love this. Two main event matches are planned for the Saudi pay-per-view, which is coming up soon. It's going to be Lashley versus Brock Lesnar for the U.S. title. Goldberg versus Omos. What's your thoughts on that?
Wow, Omos versus who?
Goldberg. Go Goldberg.
Oh, man, that's going to be a bloodbath. I don't see anybody given a chance beat Omos. I mean, the guy's just his strength. I've seen a lot of tall guys, seen a lot of big guys, but I've seen that kind of strength since Andre the Giant, really.
Right.
An athlete, he was a college basketball player, probably played some pro basketball somewhere. He moves well, but I don't understand why they haven't found a better role for him. But his strength is very impressive to me.
Well, I'm hearing stories right now, Smokin' Jim. Rumors are going around that he's going to create another Hurt Business. And that would be interesting if he did that again. I like the Hurt Business. I thought he had a good faction going there for a little while. Now with Triple H at the helm, it looks like some things are going to be coming back that work. I thought the Hurt Business was a great faction, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I love the Hurt Business. It was good. I mean, you gotta have some villains. Um, and the Hurt Business, man, them cats came out of everywhere, came out of nowhere to make things shake. So, yeah, that would be a great move, man.
Oh yeah, I think it would be as well. Some other things to talk about tonight. Steve Austin, Stone Cold, is going to be inducted in the International Wrestling Hall of Fame. What's your thoughts on that?
I wonder what took him so long.
Well, he was in the WWE. He's in the WWE Hall of Fame, but this is the International Wrestling Hall of Fame. So, and also they're talking about taking, or they have taken Paul Heyman off of TV. They're having him work in the back. I don't know what his job is going to be, but he's going to be doing that as well. Before we get back to WWE, I have some other news.
Hold on 1 second. Why would they take Paul Heyman off? He was good.
Oh, absolutely. He's great on TV. He has good mic skills. And, especially when he was with Brock Lesnar. I'm Paul Heyman and I'm the advocate for Brock Lesnar. That's when I thought was his best time, when he was doing that, you know what I'm saying? And the wise man with the the bloodline, So, but that's what he, was good at. And he's a great guy. I mean, he's a great wrestling mind all across the board, Smoking Jim. And I think he should be included in, on TV. But I think they're going to put him back as producer again, or some kind of executive director or something. That's what he was doing before. He was with Raw as an executive. He was the executive director. And then this was a few years back, or more than about 19, I think it was. They brought back Eric Bischoff. They had him as executive director of SmackDown. Then they said he spent too much time in catering and they fired him. So I don't know what went down there with all that shakeup, but I'm told they're not going to have a draft. If they would have, I think they probably would have had it already. What's your thoughts on the draft? Do you think they should have one, or do you think they should just keep, having wrestlers go back and forth to the shows?
Man, you asked us some great questions, Ralph. I was divided on that. I didn't like it at first, but after seeing how it worked out last year, I really liked it. It looked like a couple of, I think Biggie, Biggie and his team was separated, so there's always that chance that your team would be separated a little bit, different shows. But I enjoyed the draft. It provided some excitement. It's a show you don't have to think much about together. From the production standpoint, it's an easy sell to the fans, and you don't have to really work that hard because it kind of sells itself. But I'm surprised that they, I guess Triple H doesn't like it, huh?
Well, I think that's the thing too. And also, don't forget, Triple H, as we've mentioned in many shows before, is cleaning up some big mess, that was left by Vince McMahon. Him and Stephanie have a lot on their plate. They have to fix a lot of things. And I think they're probably going to have to table the draft till next year because I think they have too much going on right now. They have to fix the rosters on both shows. NXT is being reconstructed. And, they're talking about bringing back, well, they have the Saturday night main event. They're talking about bringing that back in a different perspective, maybe putting it on Peacock, or you can watch it on, some national network, which would be great if they could do that. That was the great thing, Saturday night main event. I love that show. And I wish they would quit playing around with it, put it on a national network again and bring it back. What's your thoughts on that?
I agree 100%. That would be a great idea. I tell you what, bro. I don't know what takes them so long to call you, brother. Cause you can put together a winning show for them.
Yeah, exactly. All right, before we continue on, I have some breaking news tonight. Teddy Long has signed a contract to work with Memphis Wrestling, which is that new wrestling group from Shield that I've been telling you and Mark Mancini about. EC3 and Flip Gordon are now with NWA. Impact, brand new tag team champions, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. They are the new champs. And this week on Impact, Good Brothers are going to go up against the Motor City Machine Guns to be the number one contenders to go up against the new tag team championships. Also, the Good Brothers, this last week was possibly their last match, and maybe coming back to the WWE or maybe with AEW, their last match, their contract is up. I don't know if they're going to stay with Impact or if they're going to move on. With Triple H back at the helm, he could bring them back to the WWE. What do you think? Are you there, Smokin, Jim?
Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome, man, for Triple H to bring all that back, man? That's exciting right there, Ron.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what's your thoughts on Teddy Long working with Memphis Wrestling? I don't know what his job is. All I'm told is he's going to be working with them.
Well, I tell you what, you've been talking about the Memphis group for a while. Matter of fact, me and Claudio Rosano was talking about that in accordance with you this morning. He had mentioned, some excitement with the Memphis group. So yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great concept. That T-Bar, who used to be with they used to team up with Dio Madden, who's one of those he's that model now with Dupree, the male models. Okay, he used to team up with him. Well, he's on Memphis Wrestling now. Willie Mack from ROH is on there now. So Memphis Wrestling's starting to grow a little bit, and they're starting to get some guys, and I think it's going to be a good concept. Okay, let's get back to the WWE. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw. Bailey's group, the Damage Control, whatever her name is, and Dakota Kai won the tag team belts from Aaliyah and Rodriguez. What's your thoughts on that? And do you think Bailey is going to beat Bianca Belair to complete the trifecta?
Um, Man, I don't think so. Um, Man, Bianca's just so good, so talented, so uh, man, it could. I think Bailey will get one of a different belt. I don't think she's going to beat Bianca, even though she pinned her uh, recently. I don't think. I don't
Right.
think that. I don't think she'll beat her for the belt.
Right. Well, one other thing I was unhappy about, I didn't like Judgment Day with this. Now they beat the snots out of Edge so bad that now he's on the shelf again with a broken leg. They really did a number on him on Monday Night Raw, and he was trying to fight Damian Priest, or I'm sorry, he was fighting Dominic Mysterio. Ray had to come in. Oh, I'm your father. Oh, this. Ray, you should have done what Edge told you to do and stay out of it. You know what I mean? Let the kid alone, because Edge was going to take him to the woodshed. And what had happened was Ray kept getting in the middle of it. And I just wish he wouldn't have done that at all, because now Judgment Day, once again, got the best of Edge and Rey Mysterio. So, I think that this is getting a little old, and I think it's time for, I'm hearing stories now. Judgment Day could be going after the bloodline. I'm hearing that story. So so we'll see what happens. They're going to start going after some belts. Rhea Ripley right now, she really can't wrestle. She's not cleared to wrestle yet. She's got some kind of a injury, brain injury or something. But I heard that she is going to be getting cleared real soon to wrestle. So, but she's doing dangerous things now. The Judgment Day is a joke, I think, right now. They should have never kicked Edge out to begin with. I thought that faction should have stayed put. That was something that I think happened before Triple H got here, and or started being in charge. And I don't know if he can fix it. So, what do you think about that?
Well, wow, that would be interesting. Judgment Day going after the bloodline. That's probably um, something that I'm kind of, now that you mention it, I'm kind of surprised that hasn't happened yet. Although they're continuing to recruit. Um, who they beat up, or who they go after? They went after Riddle. Went after Riddle.
Yeah, Riddle. Yeah, they beat Riddle up too, and that was, again, Riddle needs to move on, and I understand he's trying to get revenge on Seth Rollins. What I think he should do is wait till Randy Orton comes back and let him deal with it, because I think Randy Orton could do better against Rollins. One other thing, next week on Raw is going to be a great match. Lashley versus Seth Rollins. I think that's going to be one heck of a match, one of the better matches on Raw in a long time. What do you think?
Well, they have the history, and that's going to be. I tell you what, I don't know if Lashley will come out the winner. And
Yeah.
uh,
I keep telling people, Smokin' Jim, that Seth Rollins, he might be a jerk, but he can wrestle, and he's been around. He was trained by two of the best people. He was trained by Triple H, and he was trained by the late Killer Kowalski. So he has two good people who have trained him. And I got to tell you, he's a great wrestler. This could be an interesting match on Monday night against Lashley. I think it's going to be one of Lashley's biggest challenges. I mean, he's used to dominating. I think Rollins is going to, cut that down a little bit. And Rollins is a sneaky guy, and he'll come up with something and everything else. Excuse me. I want to apologize everybody for my voice tonight. I have a sinus cold. It's been bothering me, and so that's why my voice is a little raspy. Smokin Jim in Wheeling, West Virginia by phone. Ralph Williams here in Sugar Creek, Ohio. And we're live here on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitch. Now we're on Twitch. And so we're increasing our network or our platforms. So that's a great thing as well. You're watching Talking Wrestling. We're talking about the WWE right now. I have some big news about AEW coming up as well. But also Smokin Jim. I think that last Friday, if you watched the Friday night SmackDown last Friday night, it was pretty interesting. It wasn't a bad show. What's your thoughts on it?
You know what? I don't believe I watched the Friday night show. I was doing a high school game Friday night and this week get caught up on some of the other wrestling programs that I have on tape. Let me see. Give me an update, and I'll tell you if I've seen it or not.
Well, I know the Bloodline, Drew McIntyre and then Karrion Kross come in, put him in that sleeper hold, because McIntyre was fighting that Sosa, who's the youngest brother of the Usos, and that happened. That was the match pretty much of the night. Now you got Miz. He was on, and that guy that's been that Straker, Matt Straker, or whatever his name is, that's been hounding him and stalking him. Well, he went to his house. Yeah. They did an interview. They did an interview with Miz from his house, and then the next thing you know, there he is at his house, and he left his house to go somewhere with Maurice. And then I was like, oh my gosh, it was so hilarious to see Miz running like a chicken. You know what I mean? Because I can't deal with him. It was interesting to see Corey Graves back on SmackDown temporarily right now, because of the Pat McAfee leaving and going to College Game Day. Also, Ronda Rousey became #1 contender for Liv Morgan's title. She won that. They had this fatal 5-way or 4-way or something, and she won the match. So now she will go up against Liv Morgan. So at the next pay-per-view. So we're going to find out what's going on here. It's interesting, some of the matchups and showdowns we have right now in the WWE. All right, let's focus our attention now on AEW. Now, I got some.
I heard that Pat McAfee is just temporarily off the show until after football season. So I did hear that.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah.
He didn't leave wrestling permanently.
I didn't think so. I mean, he's a smart guy.
3 months, 3 months, and then he'll be back. Because we talked about it before that
right.
We think it was a smart move to leave wrestling right now. But I heard it was just.
Yeah, that's great.
Football season.
Yeah, that is great. And, I knew there was some angle to this. Again, Pat McAfee's a smart guy. He doesn't, he don't make boneheaded mistakes. And I thought, you thought that was a mistake to go to this College Game Day. I don't know how much money they're paying him for that gig. It has to be pretty good because the networks are paying out of the wazoo right now. And you know how that is, so we see that all the time with these networks. I wish they'd pay us out of the wazoo. You know what I mean? Anyway, AEW, I got some real interesting news for everybody here. Cody Rhodes has recently, he's injured right now, but he's recently been doing some recruiting. He's trying to get some of these guys that are unhappy at AEW and bring them to WWE. Now, here's Malachi Black is officially gone from AEW. He wanted out of his contract. Tony Khan gave him his wish. He's gone. Now, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks just had a meeting this week with Cody Rhodes. Okay. Now, the reason why they had this meeting, you remember that fight we talked about last week, remember? That they had in the locker ring. It was CM Punk fighting with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Now, Omega and the Young Bucks are pissed at Tony Khan because he did not stick up for his vice presidents, which happens to be the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. So Kenny Omega now is disgusted. He wants out. Don Callis is trying to work something to where they can either go to Impact or to the WWE. And they just had a meeting this week with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is going to try to work with Triple H, and they have a very good working relationship. He's going to try to get them into the WWE. What do you think?
Wow, that's huge news.
Right.
That's big news. Yeah, I mean, well, man, if they could pull something like that off, that'd be great, bro. What do you think?
Well, you know what? I think Tony Khan deserves this because I'm going to tell you what he really did screw the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega over because they were that fight was not their fault. That was CM Punk's fault. All four all four guys have been stripped of their titles. CM Punk has been fired. Okay, but I think that Tony Khan is running around right now like his doo-doo don't stink. Okay, and you know what? The Empire is going to start falling down real soon. As we've said before, the TV contract with Warner's, we talked about that. Him pissing off all these wrestlers. He's overloaded his company so bad with all these egos, and he's doing the same script as WCW. He's overpaying some of these guys. He's making them sign 5-year contracts. No, they're unhappy. He's not putting them on the. He's not giving them Adam Cole. Look at Adam Cole. He's a great wrestler. He's never on. Okay. They knocked him out. Bobby Fish quit. Kyle O'Reilly has luckily stayed. Okay. So what I'm saying to you is I think that, Tony Khan's empire here is going to start falling real soon. And I mean, even Jim Ross came on, and I told you he was on that podcast where he said Tony Khan is really hedging his bet. He had that pay-per-view, had 15 matches. It was over 6 hours. He was complaining about that. And then he said some of the stuff Tony Khan is doing, and Jim Ross has been in the business forever. And he was once the head booker and talent agent for the WWE. He's worked with WCW. So Jim Ross, when he says something, his statements are gold smoking, Jim. That's the way it is with him. And now he's starting to speak up.
Wow, that's true.
Yeah. So I mean, Conan and the Disco Inferno, they have this little podcast that they do. And Conan, for him to say something, because LAX is split right now. You got the 4 guys. You got Homicide. He's an MLW, and then you got the other guy, Fernandez. He's an Impact, and then you got the other 2 guys. They're in AEW, so his faction's kind of split up a little bit, and he makes his rounds. But for him to say something too it's gold too, because Conan's been in the business a long time as well, and so. But anyway, I wanted to see if you checked out that the biography again on A&E. We spoke last week about some of the good ones that were on there. I got to really watch Shawn Michaels one, and I thought that was pretty good. That was a repeat. I didn't get to catch all that. The good news with that is they took that off just in time because Sunday Night Football is going to be coming, and and I know it. Everybody's going to be watching Sunday Night Football, so and that's one of the reasons why I took my shows off on Sunday night too, Smokin' Jim, was because I couldn't compete with Sunday Night Football. So yeah, exactly, yeah. So. Anyway, I was going to have this show before 5 o'clock today, Smokin' Jim, because everything in Sugar Creek here shuts down at 5. The Amish, they don't want to work at night. So, they shut everything down at 5 o'clock. My wife says to me, "Oh, you're going to be surprised. Everything shuts down at 5 o'clock." And it does. So, it's pretty hilarious here. But anyway, oh, I'm having a blast here, man. This is fun. And I got to tell you, I talked to some people from Pittsburgh. And they're here. They live here. And they told me it's great. They said cost of living's low. The people are nice. And they said they pay 20 cents less for gas. And they said it's beautiful here. They love it. And they've been here for 2 years now. They moved out of Pittsburgh. They used to live in Murraysville and Monroeville. And they said for what they pay on the mortgage on their house, they said is way less than what they were paying for rent out in Murraysville and Monroe.
Well, if they lived in Monroeville, we kicked them out.
Yeah, it's quite a.
I tell you what, man, I did get the plug down here. I came down here super early, right after our boxing show, and I went to the Wheeling Casino.
I haven't been there in a while. It's been a long time.
Ended up meeting a gentleman there that's there every day, the general gambler. And he told me about a restaurant in Wheeling. They got the best ribs. And while I was on the phone, because I'm driving back home now, I passed it. It's called Abby's. The rotisserie ribs, he said, are to die for. So next time I come down Wheeling, I'm gonna hit Abby's. I may bring you a couple bones.
Oh, that'll work. Hey, you know what? I made my Ralphie stew over the weekend.
Oh man, that's a big stuff, brother.
Yeah, you know that, don't you?
3 days to eat all that stew. That's how deep it was, brother. It was good.
I know, man. You know, I have my own spin on that. It's interesting how you could take something so simple and put your spin on it. You know what I mean? So, but anyway.
Sound like a cooking show in the future, brother.
Oh, I'm talking about doing Ralphie's Kitchen. There you go. Oh, by the way, one other thing I forgot to add to about Raw on Monday night was when they had Chad Gable, and he was out there, doing his thing with Otis. Do you think that's going to last, or do you think that could break up soon?
I think that's going to break up soon. I didn't think it would last as long as Otis was the one hot chick with the name Mandy Rose.
Mandy Rose, yeah.
Remember they had that?
Yeah.
This ain't gonna last long.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was crazy.
All that shush and shush and shush.
And thank you. Thank you. Oh, by the way, I wanted to tell you, Johnny Gargano won his first match on he had his first debut match on Raw, and he won. And then Theory come out and started his stuff, and I was crazy with that there. And oh, by the way, Dolph Ziggler, there was rumors going around he was retiring again. He said as of right now they're not, and he's going to wrestle part-time with the WWE. He says he's figuring out what he wants to do with his retirement. He says as soon as he comes up with a plan, he's going to retire. Well,
he was on NXT here for a while.
Yeah.
Going back and forth stuff.
Yeah, and then he started some kind of feud with Theory, and we all thought that was going to carry on, and it didn't. So, I want to get back to Matt Riddle. I feel bad for Matt Riddle because, Randy Orton's not around right now. He looks like a lost puppy, like a deer in the headlights. He's got a lot of skill, but like Seth Rollins said, why don't you just leave this alone, stay out of my business? Matt, sometimes you need to move on, and I think it's time for him to move on to something else and try something else. So, and you were talking earlier about the New Day. It's sad to see that they're all hurt, now. So it's pretty bad. I think when they come back, we're going to see a long-standing feud with the Viking Raiders. So they found their niche as a heel, which is interesting as well. And we're going to find out what's going on. We're going to find out when Bray Wyatt's coming back. I'm hearing stories about that. He was supposed to come back at SummerSlam. That never happened. I'm hearing he's going to team up with Edge. They're going to form a faction, go up against Judgment Day. We'll find out what's going on here, what Triple H has in mind. We'll find out what the rest of the wrestling world's going to do, as we move along here on Talking Wrestling every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. with me, Ralph Williams, and by phone, Smokin Jim Frazier is my co-host. And we're here every Wednesday night, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. All right, Smokin Jim, it's been a pleasure tonight. I know you're in Wheeling and I'm in Ohio at Sugar Creek. And we're having a blast here. So I want to, we're going to cut the show short tonight so we can finish our little time here. So, you know what I mean? So, so, yeah. So anyway, Yeah, I'll be back on Friday in town. So, we're just here for a few short days. But, it's another area that falling in love with here. And it's not, and then finding out from our friends from Pittsburgh, they used to live in Pittsburgh. They said they love it down here. So, and you got this all Amish culture. I bought some Amish things today, Amish food. Um, they got, they have ribs here that are smoked that they do. They have their own butcher shop, and they Amish smoke their ribs and everything. So I mean, yeah, Amish, they take the time. They put pride into everything they do, Smoking Jim. Whether it's food, well, I bought an Amish belt today. All right, and it was so happy. And I was so happy, Smoking Jim, because you know why? It didn't say made in China. Hey, one time Smoking Jim, I bought a pair of sandals. You know what it said on her?
What's that?
Made around the corner. Smoking Jim, it's been a pleasure as always. Thank you all for listening tonight. I'm Ralph Williams for Smoking Jim Frazier. Have a good night and be safe, and we'll see you next Wednesday.